Hey everybody, say, which story sounds like something you would want to read or watch? Sanat rides a bike without falling down for 24 hours. Or, Sanat rides a bike and rolls off a cliff into a pit of crocodiles. If you're like me, you definitely go for the crocodiles. Why? Because it's simply the way our brains work. We're drawn to shocking, violent and emotional content. We know media outlets are competing to attract viewers and draw attention, so it only makes sense that they would choose the best content to draw viewers' attention, like the crocodiles. This might explain why, when you watch the news, you might feel like you're watching an unstoppable and overwhelming tide of disasters. That is what Dr. George Gerbner theorized as the mean world syndrome. The mean world syndrome is the idea that because of our constant exposure to violence like in the news, movies and games, we believe that the world is a more dangerous place than it actually is. You see, the syndrome plays right into our fears. And it doesn't help that every day we see sickness, death, robberies, murders and violence against women and children, protests, shootouts, drug wars, gang wars, government corruption and natural disasters right on our screens. And you might not even be aware that this distorted stream of information can deeply impact the way you see the world. When Gerbner testified before a congressional subcommittee in 1981, he said, "Fearful people are more dependent, more easily manipulated and controlled, more susceptible to deceptively simple, strong, tough measures and hardline measures." When we feel like the world is a highly dangerous or unpredictable place, we become cynical. On a personal level, you may experience more pessimism, anxiety. Your body may be in a constant state of stress.
When we live on a diet of bad news, over time we can become more insensitive to aggressive content or normalize extreme events like terrorist attacks or assaults. It can hinder our ability to critically analyze the news. And those feelings of fear, anger, or pessimism, they can make us fearful enough to support radical initiatives, consider violence, or even support laws that call for strong measures like capital punishment or military operations, all on the basis of fears. Can we overcome mean world syndrome? Just knowing it's there and it's affecting our judgment is the start of finding balance. You know the saying, where there is good, there is bad? When we are overwhelmed with negative news and thoughts, we tend to forget that it can go the other way around. Where there is bad, there can also be good. I know, it's a bit hard to believe, but just hear me out.
Sri Lanka is in a mess.
During the crisis of early 2022, the country ran out of essential supplies such as gas and fuel. People stood in queues under the blazing sun, sometimes for more than a day, just to get a little amount of gas. Most of the news we got on this situation would be when somebody fainted or worse. And that is because of how media entities operate. If it bleeds, it leads. Which means that the more shocking, devastating, and awful the news is, the more likely it will be read or watched, like what we saw at the beginning with Sampath and the crocodiles. But you see, while people were waiting in line for gas and fuel, there were also people out there helping by offering cold drinks, tea, food, shade, and company. These are little things that do not change the gravity of the situation at all, but bring a glimmer of hope that not all is lost. Our togetherness in trying times help us find the light at the end of the tunnel. After a storm, no matter how long it is, there will always be sunshine.
Remember, you aren't as helpless as you feel. You can make progress by carefully considering the kinds of media you follow both offline and online. If you can see that a media outlet is only talking about the bad, balance your news diet by finding uplifting media.
Consider also having at least one day a week without media and electronic devices. get your mind off things and take a breather. Remember that the media will always sensationalize violent news, just like the way some international media entities portrayed the peaceful protest at GGG as the complete opposite. That's what sells. But you and I know that that wasn't proper reporting. Finally, the most important thing of all, make media literacy a priority. Use the 5 key questions.
Who created this message?
What creative techniques are used to attract my attention?
How might different people understand this message differently?
What values, lifestyle, and points of view are represented or left out of this message?
Why is this message being sent?
And always remember that most of what you see is designed to make you react.
Don't let it stress you out. You've got this. We can make this world a whole lot better by finding that balance.